We'll just quickly start because we're here and we understand that there's so many customers that have previously bought T-channel style accessories to make sure that we've actually accommodated for that. And I've got in my pocket here the T-slot adapter. Do you want to just quickly talk us through, I guess, how this is going to work and the versatility of such a simple piece?
I mean, to start with, you look at the Tula bike carrier, for example. It's a good bike carrier as is. Plenty of people have got them. The T-channel, as with all of our accessories, a couple of bolts in the top. Drop it over, tighten up with your Allen key and slide in your T-slot as you normally would.
While the T-slot obviously accommodates for some of the ones out there, you've done so much work on a huge range of accessories for us at launch. So let's go over and have a really good look at what you've done.
No problem.
Geez, Andrew, where do we start? I mean, I guess with the base rack is one product, but when you take into consideration the guardrails, all the accessories, we're launching, what, 20 plus products. It's an exciting time.
It is. I mean, you look at our old racks and we didn't have all this stuff for them, so this is great.
How fantastic. Here's the way.
We'll start with the tie downs. So first of all, we've got the eye-nut tie down as James showed you before. It just tightens on. We suggest that then you go, grab your screwdriver, stick your screwdriver in, give it a good crank, make sure it's tight. You've got a bulletproof connection that's going to stay on your car for when you want to bring things on and off. Things like ladders, for example, where you put it in the same spot every time. That's perfect.
I really enjoy this quick release cam. How good is that? I mean, that's a single-handed on and off and just perfect for when you're just putting on a swag or a bag that you're not normally using day to day.
So it's a simple cam action, locks straight into the dovetail, stainless steel construction as well. Uses a simple ring tie to give you that tension. One thing you got to look out for though is, unlike the eye nuts, you do have to take them off after use.
Well, why don't we move on to straps, I guess. It looks like we've got some pretty unique strapping attachments. Do you want to quickly run us through the designs you've put there?
So as you can see, it's designed to go straight onto the dovetail using that shape. It's designed to sit on there, and as you can see, doesn't fall off.
Now, of course, this is a bare bugbear of mine, which is that in the past, I've been always falling hazard to the fact you get the common J hook, you run it through your ring pull, you throw this over the other side, and by the time you start to go tightening it, this end's already fallen off and you start actually ratcheting, and all you're doing is ratcheting a J hook back towards yourself and you've actually tied nothing down at all.
Hit it on the head, Mark. And the other great thing, you got to remember, these straps, you don't even need the tie downs. Straight on, done.
All right, one less component, I love it. While we're talking straps, how about we come over and have a look at the tyre strap. So you've basically taken the same fundamental design for the dovetail clasp and you've turned it into a tyre strap.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. Clip it on. We've got 3 1-metre straps, which means you can carry nice big tyres on it.
And of course, the way we've done it here is probably the preferred way of setting it up. You've got 2 straps at the front, 1 at the back, which makes it perfect for tying it down or ratcheting it from the rear of the vehicle.
Exactly.
And on top of that, while we're talking about, I guess, tyres, I mean, they're a big unit. We're talking, products can be upwards of 50 kilos. Point loading, and we talked with James earlier about each beam has a 25 kilo point load. And we want to make sure that if we are loading a tyre like this, which is nicely spread over with lashings, 3 beams, that things like our jerry cans or other weighty items are maybe moved onto other beams to make sure that we're not increasing or exceeding, I should say, those beams.
Exactly, so that 25 kilos or 55 pounds in the other measure, you do want to spread it around.
We'll get James and Steve to come and remove that tyre for us, and I'll get you to come around here and we might explore some of the other accessories.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good average setup of what you're going to see on so many roof racks. I mean, we've got tyres, jerry cans, treads, and of course gas bottles. It's something that you don't necessarily want bouncing around the back of your car. I know I don't like it. Talk us through a little bit about this and how it's working and universal it is for us.
Yeah, so great thing about these gas bottle holders, they're adjustable. They can go right down to the small sort of 2 kilo bottles most of the time, right up to a 9 kilo bottle. So it's good for even getting your barbecue gas back home. Use a basic setup using ratchet straps with a cam buckle adjuster on the back.
Let's have a look at it. May as well just open her up. And that's what we've got. So I guess another good feature here is obviously that everything comes in the kit. So when you get your gas bottle holder, you've got everything that comes with it.
It does. Uses the eye nut connections, as we showed you before. We've got some stainless steel adjusters as well, which lock onto the bottom of your bottle to help it sliding around.
So in this particular instance, we've got it mounted over 2 beams and through the gap. Is that where it's got to go?
It doesn't have to go there. We've got plenty of adjustment here. So we can bring this eye nut, bring the whole lot over on top of the beam, or you can have it sort of spread over 1.5 beams.
So it really just allows you to adjust it based on whatever else you've got on the roof rack at the time to make sure you've got a good fitment.
Exactly. Give you a good build. That's what's important.
True to having a really flexible and usable base rack here is that we've made something that'll actually account for not only our ARB Tread Pros, but for those people that are already running max tracks, we've got a solution that'll also cater for that too.
That's exactly right. So the way the system works is we give you a set of mounting brackets that you got there. It's designed to take either Tread Pro or Max Track's genuine pins. In this case here, when you got 2 Tread Pros, you only need the 2 pins. That's what we've got.
So they come as a pack of 4?
Yep, certainly.
What we'll do, let's just quickly pull these off and we can take the treads off. Just put them over here for the moment. So as you can see here, so we've just got the mounting brackets, only 2 required for the Tread Pros, and we're using all the original hardware from Tread.
That's exactly right. The Tread guys have helped us out to try and get a good kit going for these.
And we'd expect the same thing from the Max Tracks.
Yep, that's exactly right. Use a Max Tracks pins, set of 4, and you're on your way.
And all the same hardware. And obviously with the elongated holes, we're able to have a little bit of adjustment to be able to move these around to make sure that we're fitting the holes appropriately to the product.
Yeah, that's right. And it even means you can run them across the rack as well. So you can run it along the rack or across, whatever sort of suits whatever you're doing.
We've even had solar panels set up on the top of these racks. Now we don't have a solar panel accessory itself, but these have actually proven themselves as a really good universal bracket. I mean, it's taking in the dovetail extrusion, but it's also got an elongated hole for adjustment, and the lip on it, which is reversible, allows you to, of course, either run it upper or lower. Oh, let's have a look at the jerry cans. You can walk over there and just talk us through what we've got there, and then of course we've got the range in front of us about jerry can holders and what's available.
All right, so we've got the single vertical jerry can holder here. It's got provision so that you don't need to remove your water tap when putting your jerry cans back on. Same as the gas bottle holder, uses the eye nut with a strap over.
And I also found that one particularly useful for just carrying one of the short 10-litre stubbies for maybe using chainsaws or bar oil or the likes. Now, of course, we've got quite a few jerry can holders. Do you want to maybe talk us through? We'll start left to right.
So this is the vertical again, this is the double. With the double jerry can holders, as we talked before, there's only a 25 kilo or 55 pound limit per slat. When you've got a double jerry can, you're over that. So we've put some little flanges in the bottom, and it's designed that it fits over the space of 2. And with the doubles, you can actually turn it either way.
Okay, so it's a bit of a guide just to help the users understand, not to potentially stuff up and only put it over one beam.
Exactly. Last thing we want is people causing themselves problems.
So that's our vertical.
Yep, we've got the double horizontal and the single horizontal there as well. And another thing to note, we've made these a little bit oversized because some of the water cans are a little bit bigger than the good old steel ones. So what we've got here is the quick release awning. Now, as we were saying before, everything's quick release. You know, you back off the nuts a little bit before they...
Take the whole thing off.
Yep, only a couple of threads through. The beauty about the quick release one is it's really designed for one person to do it sort of safely on their own. Same as our standard quick release system. The other thing you might notice is how flush this
flat,
is.
Isn't it? Yeah, really low.
So all these brackets are designed, if you flip them the other way, you'll lift it up nice and high because obviously some cars have clearance issues to the door.
And of course, I guess if you're going to run your guardrails, it might not be such a big deal to you and you're happy to actually get it higher up.
Exactly. And really it's about not limiting what people's builds are. You customise this rack and these brackets to your car.
And of course, these are the quick release, but we're also running a very basic standard awning bracket as well. That's
right. Again, the standards, put it down, flush, put it up, give you that extra clearance. So roller, simple system, 35mm powder coated aluminium tube, running on bushings. You might notice that all the fittings are below flush. So as James was saying before, when you're dragging up sheet materials like plastic, you don't want to scratch it on brackets or anything like that.
And so this comes in clean. 2 different dimensions?
It does, so that's to suit the narrow or the wide rack. The other thing to remember is we can take this off and put it on the side if you want. Right,
so if you, for whatever reason, you've got a use to be loading things from the side of the vehicle, why not run it on the side? Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
For the high lift jack, so we've got a premium jack mount, as we've called it here. We've got 2 jack mounts.
Yep.
The way that this actually caters for the weight of a high lift jack and getting it off your roof, I found really handy.
And it looks cool.
It does look cool.
So pretty simple that it's just a couple of center latches. We've got some friction hinges in there as well. It acts as a cradle to lower it down safely and simply lift it out. When you're done, put it back in again. You've got to remember that when you're trying to do this over your head, that's a big help. So if you're not trying to get your jack off in a hurry, there's some bolts on the mounting bracket. Use your own nuts, put it on, grab your screwdriver, crank it up.
If you do flip this over, keeping in mind this is a completely universal handle keeper and you've just got to literally flip around the other way and chuck it on.